For many men, hitting 50 feels like a silent switch gets flipped. The energy, the drive, the simple, unspoken confidence you once took for granted begins to fade, like a photograph left out in the sun. It's a slow-motion dimming of your own inner light. What if I told you that the root of this profound change is very often a hidden circulatory issue, a gradual tightening of your body's most essential highways? And what if the key to reviving that flow, to turning that switch back on, could be found in one simple, powerful, and entirely natural morning ritual? And I need you to understand, this is critically important. You absolutely need to stick with me through this entire video. The final piece of advice I'm going to share isn't just about a particular food or a supplement you can buy. It is a fundamental internal shift in perspective that will ultimately determine whether this journey becomes a lasting, life-altering transformation in your vitality or just another thing you tried for a couple of weeks and forgot about. It is the glue that holds all of this together. It's that important. Silent problem. It's a quiet conversation you have with yourself in the still moments of the day, isn't it? It's not something you readily bring up at a dinner party or with your friends over a beer. It's that subtle, creeping, undeniable realization that the man looking back from the mirror doesn't quite have the same spark in his eyes that he used to. Maybe it's the almost imperceptible hesitation before taking the stairs 2 at a time, or the way you feel just a little more winded after doing something physical that used to be completely effortless, like carrying in the groceries. It's that frustrating feeling of your body not quite keeping up with your mind, with your ambition, with the vibrant, capable man you still feel you are on the inside. This isn't about a sudden collapse or a dramatic health scare. It's a slow fade, almost too gradual to notice day by day, but impossible to ignore over months and years. It's a methodical turning down of the dial on your own internal energy, leaving you feeling like you're operating at 70% of your former capacity, and you can't quite figure out why. You might notice small, seemingly insignificant clues. Your hands and feet might be colder than they used to be, a minor annoyance that actually points to a much larger story being told within your circulatory system. Or perhaps it's a certain kind of mental fog that descends in the afternoon, a difficulty concentrating or holding on to a thought that simply wasn't there 5 or 10 years ago. You're still sharp, you're still capable, but it feels like you're constantly wading through a thicker, invisible haze to get to the mental clarity you once took for granted. And in your most private moments, the ones that are just for you, you might notice a change in your physical performance, a lack of the same vigor and immediate responsiveness that used to be a given, an integral part of your identity. This is where the quiet worry can really begin to take root, because it feels so deeply personal, so intrinsically connected to your core sense of self, of masculinity, of raw vitality. It can make you feel like your own body is slowly betraying you. And the most infuriating, frustrating part of it all is that you're probably doing all the things you're supposed to do. You're trying to stay active, you watch what you eat for the most part, but it feels like you're fighting against a powerful, invisible tide. You're putting in the effort, you're trying to be disciplined, but the results you expect just aren't materializing. The return on your investment of effort feels diminished. I need you to hear this loud and clear. This experience is incredibly common, and it is not a personal failing. It is not because you've done something wrong, or because you're lazy, or because you're simply getting old in the dismissive way our society talks about it. What you are experiencing is a specific, understandable, and most importantly, a highly addressable biological process. It has a name, it has a clear mechanism, and it has a solution that is far more accessible and natural than you might possibly imagine. The root of this pervasive issue, the silent problem that is happening deep inside your arteries and your smallest blood vessels, is fundamentally twofold. First, as we age, our body's natural, innate ability to produce a crucially important molecule called nitric oxide begins to decline, often precipitously. You need to think of nitric oxide as the body's master signaling molecule for all things related to circulation. It is the chemical messenger that tells your blood vessels to relax, to open up, to become wider and more accommodating. This allows blood to flow freely, effortlessly, delivering oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and everything else your cells need to every single part of your body. from the highest functions of your brain to the hardworking muscles in your heart, all the way to the very tips of your fingers and toes. When you're in your 20s and 30s, your body is a nitric oxide powerhouse. But after the age of 40, and especially after 50, that production can drop by 50% or even more. The signal to relax is getting weaker. The second part of this insidious problem is that at the very same time, your nitric oxide levels are declining. The blood vessels themselves are physically changing. They start to lose their youthful elasticity and flexibility. Imagine a brand new garden hose. It's soft, pliable, and when you turn on the spigot, water flows through it easily and it expands slightly to handle the pressure. Now imagine that same hose after being left out in the sun and cold for 20 years. It's become stiff, brittle, and cracked. It can't expand as well to handle the pressure, and the flow is restricted. This is precisely what happens to our blood vessels over time. They become more rigid and less responsive, a condition known in medicine as endothelial dysfunction. So you are getting hit with a devastating double whammy. There is less of the crucial molecule telling your vessels to relax, and the vessels themselves are becoming physically less capable of relaxing, even if the signal does manage to get through. It's a perfect storm for circulatory decline. This combination is what creates the silent problem that you feel as a slow fade. It's a gradual constriction, a slow-motion tightening of your entire circulatory system. The vast, intricate highway that carries life-giving blood to your muscles, your organs, and your brain starts to have lanes closed down one by one. The flow of traffic becomes less efficient, congested. And you feel the direct results of that traffic jam as that persistent fatigue, that frustrating mental fog, and that lack of physical power and responsiveness. It is the physical, mechanical basis for feeling older, but it is not an irreversible destiny. It's a mechanical issue. And when you finally understand the mechanics, you can start to provide the right tools to fix it. You can begin to consciously and deliberately support your body in reopening those vital pathways. The reason this whole experience feels so deeply personal and so frustrating is that nobody ever explained this to us in a way that makes sense. We're given vague advice like eat less and move more, but the specific, actionable details of our internal chemistry are often left a complete mystery. We're left to incorrectly assume that this decline is just the way it is, a one-way street into old age that we have no control over. But modern science, combined with a return to some very old, very potent wisdom, shows us that this narrative is simply not true. We now understand the nitric oxide pathway with such clarity that we can target it directly and effectively with nutrition. We can give our body the precise raw materials it needs to ramp up production of this vital molecule once again, to fight back against that vascular stiffness and reclaim what has been lost. So right now, I want you to consciously let go of any sense of blame or frustration you might feel toward your body. It's not letting you down. It's simply responding to a predictable and now understandable biological shift. Your body is an incredible, intelligent machine that is always trying to achieve balance, always trying to heal itself. The problem is that with our modern lifestyles and the natural, unavoidable process of aging, it's simply not getting the support it needs to do its job effectively. The feeling of vitality isn't just some vague New Age concept. It's a direct, measurable result of good circulation. When your cells are properly nourished and oxygenated, you feel alive. You feel sharp, you feel powerful. Our task isn't to wage a war against aging, but to work intelligently with our body's own systems to age with strength, dignity, and vigor. And that critical work begins by addressing this silent foundational problem of blood flow. Red Reviver. Now that we understand the problem with true clarity, a critical decline in nitric oxide and a progressive stiffening of our blood vessels, the solution becomes beautifully, refreshingly logical. We don't need a complex synthetic drug with a long and worrying list of side effects. We need to give our body the specific natural building blocks it requires to create more of that essential molecule on its own. We need to find nature's own key to unlocking better blood flow. And as it turns out, it exists hiding in plain sight in the produce aisle of your local grocery store. It's a humble root vegetable, often overlooked or relegated to a boring side dish, but it is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful circulatory aids on the entire planet. I'm talking about beetroot. This isn't folklore, an old wives' tale, or a new age health fad. The profound power of beetroot is backed by an incredible and growing amount of solid, peer-reviewed scientific research. The magic lies in its uniquely high concentration of natural compounds called dietary nitrates. Now, when you hear the word nitrates, you might instinctively think of the artificial preservatives found in processed meats like bacon or hot dogs, but these are completely and fundamentally different. The nitrates found in vegetables like beetroot are a gift from the earth, a pure and beneficial compound. When you consume them, a fascinating and elegant chain reaction begins inside your body, a perfect example of nature's incredible intelligence. Here's how it works in simple, practical terms. First, when you eat or drink beetroot, the nitrates on its surface mix with the healthy, beneficial bacteria living on your tongue and in your saliva. This is the very first critical step in the transformation, where those natural nitrates are converted into a new compound called nitrites. It's an amazing partnership between a plant and your own microbiome. Then, when you swallow, these newly formed nitrites travel down into the highly acidic environment of your stomach, where they undergo a second conversion, transforming into the superstar molecule we've been talking about, nitric oxide. You are essentially ingesting the raw material that your body can no longer produce in sufficient quantities on its own, and you are using your own digestive system as the factory to create it. It's a brilliant biological workaround. This newly created nitric oxide is then absorbed from your gut directly into your bloodstream, and it immediately gets to work. It acts as a potent and fast-acting vasodilator. That's a scientific term, but what it means for you is simple and profound. It signals the smooth muscle cells that line the walls of your blood vessels to relax, to let go of their tension. Remember that old, stiff, brittle garden hose? Nitric oxide is like a deep conditioning treatment that restores its flexibility, allowing it to widen and expand as it was designed to do. It's the equivalent of opening up all the previously closed lanes on that vast circulatory highway. The traffic jam begins to ease, and blood can finally flow freely, reaching every single corner of your body with renewed efficiency and purpose. The effect of this process is not just theoretical or something you see in a lab, it's tangible and measurable in the real world. Dozens of studies have shown that consuming beetroot, either as a juice or a powder, can significantly lower blood pressure, improve the efficiency of oxygen uptake in your muscles, and dramatically enhance physical stamina and endurance. For professional athletes, this means being able to go harder for longer. For you, it means having the sustained energy to get through your entire day without that debilitating afternoon crash. It means having the stamina to get on the floor and play with your grandkids, to work in the yard all weekend, or to be fully present and powerful in your intimate life. It's about methodically restoring the physical foundation of your own vitality. Think of the color of the beetroot itself. That deep, rich, vibrant red isn't just for show. It's the color of life, the color of rich, healthy blood, the color of vitality. It serves as a powerful visual cue for the immense power contained within. This isn't about adding some exotic, ridiculously expensive superfood from a faraway land that you have to order online. This is an accessible, affordable, and incredibly powerful tool that has been right here all along, waiting for us. We just needed to understand the modern science to appreciate its true, unlocked potential. It's about working in beautiful harmony with your body's innate design, not against it. You're not forcing a change. You are simply and elegantly facilitating the change your body is already trying to make. So, from this moment on, when you think of beetroot, I want you to stop thinking of it as just another vegetable on your plate. I want you to see it for what it truly is, a key that can unlock the life-giving flow that has been slowly restricted by the passage of time. A key that provides the precise raw material your body is craving to rebuild its own energy production and restore its circulatory health. It's a direct way to intervene in the aging process in a safe, natural, and profoundly effective way. You are giving your body the exact tool it needs to turn back the clock on your vascular health, one single sip or one single bite at a time. This is the Red Reviver, and it's the first active, empowering step in reclaiming your power. This approach is so deeply empowering because it puts you squarely back in the driver's seat of your own health journey. You are no longer a passive victim of the aging process. You are an active, informed participant in your own wellness. The knowledge of how beetroot works transforms it from a simple food into a strategic, deliberate choice. You understand the why behind the action, and that is the secret to building true, lasting motivation. Every time you consume it, you can visualize those nitrates being converted on your tongue, that nitric oxide being released in your stomach, and your blood vessels relaxing and opening throughout your body. You can feel the powerful intention behind the act. It's a conscious decision to nourish and support your body at its most fundamental level. This isn't a temporary quick fix, it's a foundational repair. Morning ritual. Knowing that beetroot is the key to this revival is one thing, but turning that precious knowledge into a consistent, effortless daily habit is where the real, life-changing magic truly happens. The best health plan in the world is utterly useless if it's too complicated to follow. The plan you actually stick with is the only one that matters. That's why we need to make this ritual so incredibly simple that it becomes as automatic and second nature as brushing your teeth. And the absolute best time to do this is in the morning. Why the morning? Because it powerfully sets the physiological and psychological tone for the entire day. You start your day with a proactive act of self-care, a powerful signal to yourself and your body that your health and vitality are a non-negotiable priority. You're literally opening up your body's circulatory pathways first thing, preparing you for whatever the day ahead holds. We need to make this ritual dead simple, stripping away all potential barriers. There are two primary, highly effective ways to do this, and you can choose whichever one fits your personal lifestyle and preference best. The ultimate goal is to remove every single possible point of friction. The first, and perhaps the very easiest method, is with beetroot juice. Now, I'm not talking about a huge 12-ounce glass of a sugary fruit juice cocktail that happens to have some beet in it. I'm talking about a small, concentrated, potent shot of pure beetroot juice. Think of it like a health elixir or a morning tonic, not a breakfast beverage. A simple 2 to 4 ounce pour is all you need to get the job done. You can find pure, organic beetroot juice at most health food stores, supermarkets, or even online. Look for one that is not from concentrate and has no added sugars, preservatives, or other fillers. You want the pure, unadulterated power of the root. The daily routine is as simple as this. You wake up, you go to the kitchen, and you pour that small shot glass of deep red juice and drink it down. That's it. The entire process takes less than 30 seconds from start to finish. You can easily do it while your coffee is brewing or while you're waiting for the toaster to pop. There's no cooking involved, no complicated preparation, no mess to clean up. It's an act of profound physiological benefit that requires almost zero effort. For some people, the taste is pleasantly earthy and they grow to enjoy it. For others, it might be a bit strong at first. If that's you, just drink it quickly and follow it up with a glass of water or your morning coffee. The taste lasts for a single moment, but the circulatory benefits resonate for hours. The second method, which is equally powerful and perhaps even more versatile and convenient, is using high-quality beetroot powder. This is simply whole beetroots that have been dehydrated and then carefully ground into a fine, concentrated powder. It's completely shelf-stable, so you can keep a container in your pantry for months, and it's incredibly easy to incorporate into things you're likely already eating or drinking. A single scoop or teaspoon of beetroot powder provides a highly concentrated dose of those essential dietary nitrates. You can certainly stir it into a glass of water, but a better way for many people is to completely hide it in their normal breakfast routine. For example, do you eat oatmeal or yogurt in the morning? Just stir a scoop of the beetroot powder directly into your bowl before you eat. The other flavors of the oatmeal or yogurt, especially if you add fruit, will almost completely mask the earthy taste. It will just add a beautiful, healthy, reddish-pink hue to your breakfast. Or if you're a smoothie person, this is the ultimate seamless hack. Add a scoop of beetroot powder to your blender along with your usual ingredients like a banana, some berries, a handful of spinach, and your favorite protein powder. You will not taste it at all, but you'll be getting all of the profound circulatory benefits seamlessly integrated into a routine you already have. This is the absolute key to long-term success. Integration, not addition. You're not trying to add a whole new, complicated step to your already busy morning schedule. You're simply upgrading what you already do. You're taking your existing breakfast and supercharging it with a potent, health-reviving, circulation-boosting ingredient. Whether you choose the quick shot of juice or the invisible scoop of powder, the underlying principle is exactly the same. Make it so easy to do that it's actually harder not to do it. This isn't about relying on finite willpower, it's about creating a smart, sustainable system designed for your own life. This small, seemingly insignificant morning ritual becomes a powerful cornerstone habit. It's the first tangible win of your day. Before you've even checked your email or begun to deal with the world's demands, you have already done something profoundly good for your body. You have made a direct investment in your own energy, your own mental clarity, and your own long-term cardiovascular health. This small, consistent action sends a powerful ripple effect through both your physiology and your psychology. It's a daily reminder that you are in control, that you are taking deliberate, intelligent steps to build a more vibrant, active future for yourself. It's not just a morning ritual, it's a daily revival. Power pairs. While beetroot is the undisputed star player, our quarterback in the strategy to boost nitric oxide and revolutionize circulation, we can create an even more powerful and resilient effect by understanding the beautiful concept of synergy. In nutrition, just as in life, a good team is always stronger and more effective than a single great individual. By intentionally pairing beetroot with other specific foods that support the very same biological pathways, we can amplify the benefits and build a more robust and resilient circulatory system. This is about consciously stacking the deck in your favor every single day. So let's talk about 2 power pairs that you can easily and deliciously incorporate into your diet. First, let's talk about the mighty walnut. Walnuts are a true nutritional powerhouse for a multitude of reasons, but for our specific purposes, their most important contribution is a particular amino acid called L-arginine. Remember how beetroot provides the dietary nitrates that your body cleverly converts into nitric oxide? Well, L-arginine is another completely separate fuel source for nitric oxide production. Your body has an enzyme called nitric oxide synthase, eNOS, and it uses L-arginine as its primary raw material to create nitric oxide directly within the lining of your blood vessels. Think of it this way: the beetroot pathway, nitrate to nitrite to nitric oxide, is like bringing in a special external shipment of fuel to a factory. The L-arginine pathway is like making sure that the factory's own internal fuel reserves are always topped up and ready to go. By consuming both, you're attacking the problem from 2 distinct and complementary angles. You're providing your body with multiple ways to achieve the same glorious goal: relaxing and opening up your blood vessels. A simple handful of walnuts as a snack in the afternoon, or sprinkled over your morning oatmeal right alongside the beetroot powder, is a brilliant and effortless way to create this 1-2 punch for your vascular health. Plus, walnuts are packed with healthy omega-3 fatty acids, which are fantastic for brain health and reducing systemic inflammation, further supporting your overall well-being. The second power pair is dark leafy greens. This might sound almost too simple to be effective, but it is profoundly important. Dark leafy greens, especially vegetables like spinach, arugula, kale, and Swiss chard, are also incredibly rich in dietary nitrates, just like beetroot. While beetroot might be the most concentrated and potent single source, these greens are a fantastic and vital supporting cast. Adding a large handful of fresh spinach to your morning smoothie along with your beetroot powder, or having a big salad with a base of peppery arugula for lunch, continually replenishes your body's nitrate reserves throughout the entire day. This smart strategy creates a more sustained, long-lasting effect. The beetroot in the morning gives you a powerful initial boost to start the day, and then the leafy greens consumed later in the day help to maintain those elevated nitric oxide levels for many more hours. You're creating a steady, drip-feed supply of the raw materials your body needs to keep your circulation optimized. It's like putting a slow-release fertilizer on a precious plant instead of just watering it once and hoping for the best. You're ensuring the nourishment is consistent and reliable. Arugula, in particular, has a distinct spicy, peppery kick, which is a telltale sign of its potent, health-promoting phytonutrients. Never again underestimate the power of a simple salad. When you choose your ingredients with intention, it becomes a medical-grade tool for your health. The guiding principle here is food synergy. These foods simply work better together. Imagine your circulatory health is a grand symphony. Beetroot is the powerful first violin, carrying the main melody. The L-arginine in the walnuts is the deep, resonant cello section, providing a solid foundation. The nitrates in the leafy greens are the entire string section, adding richness, depth, and complexity to the music. You don't have to eat all of these every single day, but by consciously and strategically weaving them into your weekly routine, you create a powerful nutritional safety net for your circulation. This knowledge completely transforms the way you look at your plate of food. It's no longer just a random collection of items to satisfy hunger. It's a strategic combination of active, intelligent compounds. You're no longer just eating for flavor or to fill your stomach. You're eating for function. You're eating to deliberately dilate your blood vessels, to help normalize your blood pressure, to deliver more vital oxygen to your brain and your muscles. This is what it truly means to be an active, empowered participant in your own health. It's not about restriction or miserable dieting. It's about strategic and joyful addition. It's about adding in these power pairs to make your Red Reviver ritual even more potent, sustainable, and effective. Lasting change. We've talked about the problem in detail. We've laid out a simple, powerful, and entirely natural solution, and we've even discussed how to amplify it. But there is one final, absolutely crucial element that we need to address, and it's the one that will ultimately determine whether you succeed or fail. It's the mindset of lasting change, because this is not a magic pill. The beetroot ritual is not a 24-hour miracle cure. It is a long-term strategy. It's about patiently laying a new solid foundation for your health, brick by brick, day by day. And that requires an unwavering commitment to two things: patience and consistency. Your body did not arrive at its current state overnight. The slow, insidious decline in nitric oxide production and the gradual stiffening of your blood vessels happened incrementally over the course of years, even decades. It's a slow accumulation of biological change, like the weathering of a stone. Therefore, it is only logical that the process of reversing some of that damage, of rebuilding your vascular health from the inside out, will also take time. You have to give your body the chance to respond, to adapt, to heal, and to rebuild. This is the exact point where so many well-intentioned people fall short. They try something for a week or two, and if they don't feel like they're 25 years old again, they give up, throw their hands in the air, and declare that it didn't work. But that's simply not how human biology operates. The body rewards consistency above all else. It responds to patterns, not one-off events. Every single morning that you perform this simple ritual, you are casting a vote for better circulation. You are making a small but significant deposit of healing currency into your biological bank account. The first day, you might not notice much at all. The first week, you might feel just a subtle shift in your afternoon energy levels. But over the course of a month, and then 3 months, and then a year, the cumulative effect of that consistent daily deposit is what creates the profound and lasting transformation you're seeking. Your body starts to rebuild its nitric oxide reserves. Your blood vessels slowly, gradually begin to regain some of their youthful flexibility and responsiveness. This requires a fundamental shift in your perspective. You need to learn to fall in love with the process itself, not just chase the distant outcome. You need to find a deep sense of satisfaction in the simple, quiet act of showing up for yourself each and every morning. The victory isn't just in eventually feeling better. The victory is in the quiet discipline of mixing that powder into your oatmeal or drinking that small glass of juice, knowing with full clarity and intention exactly why you're doing it. It's a daily act of profound self-respect. It's you telling yourself in a language your body understands that you are worthy of the time and the small effort it takes to be healthy and vibrant. Patience, in this context, is not passive waiting. It is active trust. It is the deep, unwavering trust that if you continue to provide your body with the right raw materials, its own innate intelligence will know exactly what to do with them. Your body is always, at every moment, striving for health and balance. Your job is to simply become a consistent and reliable partner in that sacred process. There will be days when you feel great and days when you don't. Days with high energy and days with low energy. That's a normal part of life. The key is to not let your transient daily feelings dictate your disciplined daily actions. Your commitment to the ritual must be independent of your mood. It needs to become a non-negotiable part of your day, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. This journey is about so much more than just improving blood flow. It's about taking back a powerful sense of agency over your own health and your own aging process. For too long, as men, we've been taught to be passive recipients of our aging, to just accept the decline in energy and vigor as an inevitable part of the deal. This entire approach says a firm and resounding no. It says that we can understand our own biology and we can take simple, powerful, evidence-based steps to influence it for the better. We can be the architects of our own vitality. So I encourage you from the bottom of my heart to embrace the slowness of this process. See the consistency not as a chore, but as a form of moving meditation. Each day, you are not just nourishing your cells with nitrates, you are rebuilding your relationship with your own body. You are shifting from a place of quiet frustration and worry to a place of empowered partnership and trust. This is the deep internal work that makes all the physical changes possible. Without this resilient mindset, the best ingredients and supplements in the world won't create lasting change. But with it, the simplest of daily rituals can become the most powerful catalyst for a whole new, vibrant chapter of your life. This is about far more than just circulation. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your clarity, and your confidence, not as a carbon copy of how they were when you were 20, but in a new, mature, and deeply sustainable way. By making this one small, simple choice each morning, you're not just nourishing your body in a physical sense. You are sending a powerful, undeniable signal to your deepest self that you are in control of your health. You are invested in a more vibrant, more active, and more powerful future. It's a quiet declaration that you are no longer passively accepting the story of aging that society tries to tell you. Instead, you are actively and deliberately writing your own. You are choosing strength, you are choosing energy, you are choosing to feel your best, and you absolutely deserve it.